Hello, my name is Ellie Mitchell, and I have with me Arabella Espinoza. Hi. And hello.
Hello.
I was going to say we're Weekend Creative, and we are so excited to be hanging out with you guys today. It's going to be so fun.
I know. It's so good to be back, too.
It is. It's so good to be back. And we would love for you guys to say hello in the chat. Let us know where you guys are watching from. Let us know if you're a long time Adobe Live viewer, short time. And feel free as we go about today to ask as many questions as you want. We want to hear from you guys. Yeah, Arabella is going to be in Photoshop. She's going to be working on some photos and GIFs for social media today. So it's going to be super fun. And it looks like we already have a lot of people joining us. We have Sam, Frank, General Kenobi, Unicorn, Oliver. Hello.
Hi.
Mick. So thank you so much for joining us. If you are over on YouTube, you can feel free to hop over to behance.net/live, and that is where we'll be able to see your questions and your comments in the chat. We want to make sure that we acknowledge everyone and get to all of your questions. So feel free to hop on over. And then as a reminder, at 9 a.m. Pacific time, we have the creative challenges. So make sure to join those with Sam Peterson, working on some Photoshop challenges. And that's just a really great way to challenge yourself, to build your skills. And you can watch the replays of those on Behance as well. So make sure to check those out. And yeah, Arabella, do you want to just give an intro about who we are, what we do, and then jump into Photoshop and Lightroom?
Yes, exactly. Well, yeah, we're Weekend Creative. We are a California-based creative photography agency. We work with other brands to create content, usually stills and stop motion. And yeah, we don't shy away from a good challenge. So we like working with all kinds of brands. And I've got our Instagram up here. So you can kind of see what we do. Obviously, aside from all of the creative work that we do, we are also really big in education. And so we offer a lot of resources, and you'll find all kinds of things from, downloads to our Patreon and all these things where people can learn more about product photography. And we also do have a podcast that's also freelance and comedy related. So you can find all of that on our Instagram at Weekend Creative. But yeah, this is just a little bit of our work. We our name is Weekend, and we love the weekends. We love to have fun. We can't wait until it's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So we really like to emulate that in our work and be playful and just have fun with it. It's a lot of fun and a lot of creative styling and bright colors. And so yeah, that's us. So I'll show you a little bit of our website as well. Is it the weekend yet? That's our little slogan. But yeah, we're just like, we love to have fun and love working with different kinds of brands. So feel free to check us out at weekend-creative.com if you're interested. But yeah, I don't know if you wanted to say anything else, Ellie.
No, you did a great job. Yeah, we would love to hear what questions you guys have. And, if you guys work with products, like what your favorite product is to shoot. It's always kind of fun to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
So fun little question to throw out there.
Yeah.
But
and
yeah,
we really want these. Thank you. We really want these streams to be super helpful too. So I think as we are editing and retouching, we want to encourage you to ask all the questions, even related to creative, running a creative business, because I think that's really important. Especially if you're going to be a freelancer or yeah. So
yeah, for
sure. Get started.
Let's get started.
All right. So we are going to be working on a personal project. So I have the final images. I don't know if we'll get to all of them. We'll see. But I'm definitely going to be working on 2. And I actually, what this is a personal project that's all about waffles. So Ellie and I love waffles. Right now, our fridge is still stocked with all these waffles.
So many waffles. We love them.
Yeah. So here are some of our final images. And what we're going to be doing today is doing a personal project. We're going to revisit editing it. And what's going to be fun about this particular project is that even though all of them are stills, I'm going to be showing you how I can turn this still into an animated GIF or stop motion. But I also have this one as well, part of the series, just kind of texture, macro, super fun. And then the other part of the series is this fun little waffle table. With,
can never have too many waffles.
Never have too many waffles.
Not possible.
No. So yeah, so I'm excited. Let's get started. It's gonna look a little bit different too. I think it's been a while since we've edited this project. So we'll see how the differences look, and I'll just take you through it. So I'm gonna drag these over to Lightroom right now. So we always start in Lightroom. It's just kind of a way for us to organize and look at all of our images like next to each other. I think that's something that's like really helpful, especially when you're creating, personal projects and for clients too. Like you want to know, that you can create a cohesive set of images and, stop motion. So let's see. This looks really weirdly colored, and that's because of the colors going on, but that's why we always photograph with a gray card so that we can get the colors right. Okay, so head on over to develop, and right now I'm using Lightroom Classic too. So, I just love the look of Lightroom Classic, and it's easy for me, and there's just like everything is in it, and I love it. So let's see. I always go over to these to this module over here in basic, and my first thing is to just grab this little white balance eyedropper tool and select that gray card, and it selects the custom white balance.
Sam says waffles for life.
Can never have too many.
Can never. When we did this project, I don't even know, why did we even decide to shoot waffles? We were like, let's shoot something that's food, that's fun.
Yes.
We went to Costco. We bought like 6 or 7 boxes of Costco size, like boxes of waffles.
Yes.
So we're still working through them. They did not go to waste.
Yes. Then I head over to lens correction, and I'm always removing the chromatic aberration. There's not usually too much. That's just usually when there's like that green or purple like fringing, but definitely enable profile corrections because, distortion and all. So I'm just going to right click on that image, and I'm going to do develop settings, copy settings, so that I have those settings that retouching that I just did. I can copy it over to the other images as well. So see how crazy this looks? So we didn't even like toast the waffles either.
Nope.
We were like, we want to eat these at some point. So, there's a lot of work involved. If we toasted them,
they would go to waste. Yeah. So we're like, let's just shoot them real quick while they're still frozen.
Yes. Okay. So I just pasted those settings, and already it looks so much better color-wise.
That's
like the real color.
So crazy.
I know. Okay. And then I'm going to paste this one as well.
Umacorn says Belgian waffles for me. And then Mick says waffles ain't awful.
Oh, I love that. Awesome. Okay, cool. So I'm going to start for now. Like I said, I don't know if we'll get to all of it, but I definitely want to get to this macro texture shot, and then for sure the pattern shot, which as I showed you, it's going to look something more like this. And then we've got this going on here. So let's get to it. So not a whole lot going on in Lightroom. I do sometimes like to play actually with just like the transform kind of, what do you call it, panel. And like right now I can see that like the waffle just looks like slightly off. So I might use like do some guides, and that way I can like fix the awkwardness, the unevenness.
Yeah.
And so I'm just placing these little little guides, and see, like that's like
So
perfect.
nice.
So
Yeah.
nice. And I believe I can put up to 4, but it just kind of makes it nice and easy. There you go. That looks pretty good. I'm going to end up cropping it anyway. So, but at
Yeah.
least it's like, it's set, it's good, it looks good. I'm not too worried about doing it for this one. Since, oh, I forgot to copy paste that one. Since that one's going to be a pattern anyway. Oh my gosh, look at how crazy our
board
our
was.
particle board is. But we knew from the start that we were going to be wiping out the color.
Yeah.
And so it's all good.
Yeah. Sam says the color makes all the difference. And then
I
Mick
know.
says the tile nearly looks like vector art, like the pattern one.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of does.
It kind of does, huh? This one?
Yeah.
Yep. So fun. All right, so let's just get started on this one. So I usually like to then take it over to Photoshop. So I right click, edit in Adobe Photoshop, and that should open up pretty quickly. I always like to convert the document colors to the working space, just because the color profile that Lightroom works in is different from what I'm going to end up using it for, which is, for digital, for social media.
Yeah.
So, all right, let's see. Okay. So I like to work non-destructively. So I always like to duplicate my layer and try to name my layers as often as possible. But here, the cleanup part is always the part that kind of takes up a little bit of time. So guys, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. I'll try to keep it moving, but I'll just show you kind of the tools that I mainly use. So it's usually going to be a combination of the spot healing brush tool, the patch tool, and then sometimes the clone stamp tool as well. So let's just get into it. There's a lot of spots since we didn't really cook this.
Is there one that you usually start with, or do you just kind of like, is there like a reason for which one that you would use?
Yeah. So the spot healing brush tool is kind of like the tool that I use if it's something small, something that I think that Photoshop will guess at what I want it to do, basically.
Yes.
And it's gotten so much better over the years too. It's like, it's amazing. Like we love Photoshop, so it makes all our dreams come true. But like, for example, like this, who knows how it'll look like, but I can try it, right? Sometimes it's about trial and error.
Yeah.
Sometimes it knows what to do. So like, that's pretty good.
That looks
great.
But
then I'll also like go in with that, what is it called? The patch tool.
Yeah.
And, just kind of fix it up a little bit.
Yeah. Maybe make some of those lines a little less notable.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Oops.
Hi, Fairy. Fairy says, I love that waffle photo. I just hope that is a real waffle and real maple syrup. And it
yes,
is.
It is.
It is real maple syrup. I know you can use like, corn syrup or something like that. It's a little bit thicker and color it, but we just went for it and used
went for it.
I don't even think that was really our intention, was to shoot the syrup at first. And then we thought it would be kind of fun to do this macro shot.
Yeah.
That's the thing with personal projects. Like when we shoot for clients, we have like a really detailed plan and it's really structured and really well planned out. But when we shoot for personal projects, I do think it's really good to practice the planning part of your shoots. And sometimes it's good to do like a personal project that's really thoroughly planned, just to like practice that aspect as well. Because sometimes we only think about practicing like the shooting or the post. We don't think about practicing planning and production, which is important.
Yeah.
Yeah. But for this one, we just kind of went for it. Like we loosely talked about ideas, but we just kind of like showed up and played around.
Yeah.
And sometimes that makes the best work. And it's just fun to like
playful.
Be creative. Yeah. And kind of remember why you got into photography in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this is kind of the thing we were doing when we first started before we had clients. So
exactly.
Yeah. So we just kind of were like, let's just see what happens. And this is
that's kind of like out. Yeah, that's like the best thing. Like pick like a random object or thing, like idea, a theme, and just like run with it. I think that's like the best way to practice and to like, really just think outside the box and like try different things,
Yeah.
that's where you
And
learn.
there's no pressure. Like if it doesn't turn out, you can just throw it away and never have to see it again. And if it turns out great, then you have a portfolio project that you can put on your website. And
Exactly.
sometimes those personal projects are the ones that new clients refer to the most, that they love the most, and it kind of draws them in. So
Oh yeah, exactly.
yeah. Ferry says, I have a bunch of concepts from simple to complex, from weird to the weirdest. I love that. Carissa says, what about using the object selection tool?
The object selection tool, is that, I wonder what she means, because there's
Can you
I feel
clarify,
like
Carissa? There's a few different ways to select.
Yeah, I mean, like you could definitely, if you wanted, like use the polygonal lasso tool. Like let's say I go like this, I select it and then I right click. There's also like content aware fill.
Yeah.
And then, oh, did I do the wrong thing?
No, I think you just hit content aware, I think.
Yeah. Maybe it's just like it's probably taking in account like kind of what's around it.
Yeah.
And then press OK. Oh, there you go. Yeah. See, that works too.
That works. There's so many different ways to do the same thing. And like you said, it's kind of trial and error figuring out what works for that particular thing.
Exactly. And if you have suggestions, like drop them in the chat. Like I'm always open to trying new things. I think, everyone's process is so different. And that's kind of the beauty of like, creatives and like, that I need to merge this down into the bottom one. Okay, so I guess that's something that maybe happened when I did the little content aware fill.
Is it made in? Oh yeah,
in new layer.
You output it to.
So if I do it to the current layer, then there we go. Perfect.
Okay. Yeah. Sam says the green is where it's sampling from. So it's like pulling from that.
It's kind of like, which is smart. I mean, that's great. Yeah. I mean, I guess that's kind of like that's similar to just like the spot healing brush tool, except I'm not seeing what it's taking from. So
yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah. Cool.
Yes. Sam says the object selection tool is a newish, relatively speaking, AI-driven selection tool.
Ooh.
Oh, crazy. There's always so many new things. And that's the thing, is you kind of get used to using the tools that you use, like you start with, and then sometimes like you don't explore the new better things. Carissa asked, what's your go-to camera and lens?
Go-to camera and lens. So we have the Canon. Wow, why am I blanking out?
5D Mark III.
5D Mark III. I think it's been a minute since we've been asked that.
Well, and you're working at the same time. So.
I know. So Canon 5D Mark III, which, oh my gosh, like we've had that thing for so many years. So many years.
Might be time for an upgrade soon.
It might be time for an upgrade soon, but it's a workhorse. Like it really is amazing. Camera. It's a good camera. I mean, I can all day recommend the Marks. They're just great. So that is our go-to camera, but our go-to lens for product photography is usually the 24-70. And that's because it's like super versatile. It's a zoom lens. So it just gives us that like flexibility to be able to not have to like move our tripod back and forth. If we were to be using a prime lens or something like that. And so it's perfect. It's a good lens. It's sharp, and we always kind of shoot at like a smaller aperture, like so that we get a little bit more detail and capture more things in detail.
Yeah. Sure. Sam says sometimes you have to go into your settings to ensure that the object selection tool even displays on your toolbar. So
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I wonder, I'm going to have to look at that later and just double check, because that's good to know. It should be just available. That's what I say.
Yeah. Yeah, Paco says, agreed. I have a 5D Mark III as well. I could upgrade, but if it ain't broke, why fix it?
Exactly.
That thing is a beast. Yeah, it's true. It's true. We'll probably use it until it like dies.
Until it dies.
Which maybe at this point, maybe we should have a backup just in case. You're gonna have to run down to like what's the shop to like rent a camera.
Oh my gosh, I
in the
know.
middle of a shoot probably is what will happen.
No. Let's not speak that into existence,
so
please.
I'm just thinking
now you're making me nervous.
Happened.
That's all I can think about while I'm trying to edit this waffle.
I'm so sorry. Barry says, who's your favorite product photographer, Arabella?
Oh my gosh.
And then they said I think they're saying theirs is Carl Taylor.
Ooh,
I don't know.
I don't know Carl Taylor.
Yeah.
I don't know. What's yours, Ellie?
Oh gosh. So it's so hard. I mean, we love Lizzie Darden. She's been an inspiration from the beginning of our career. She was on Adobe Live a few years ago. I mean, I guess it was before 2020 or maybe early 2020 because we were in person.
Yeah.
We love Little Drill. They have really great work.
Yes. Colors Collective.
Colors Collective is another great duo.
Yes. Helen Coker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like a lot of these are our friends.
They're our friends, but a lot of them, they were people we looked up to first who became friends over time. So Diane Villadsen. She's been on Adobe Live too, and so has Little Drill, so you can look up those streams.
Yeah, we show up there too.
Yeah, I think you hosted all of those people.
Yeah. So much fun, you guys. Those streams are amazing. So I mean, we always recommend Adobe Live in general. It's such a great platform for learning and for learning all kinds of different, photography too. They've got so many different stream themes, and so totally worth it.
Sam says I have that fear about hard drives like failing.
Oh my gosh.
Somebody actually who was it who they had the tip of using some painter's tape to tape your hard drive either to your laptop or to the table or something while you're shooting so that you don't accidentally knock it off and break it.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Which is a really brilliant idea that we need to start doing because you just never know.
You never know.
And the worst thing,
never know.
Yeah, breaking your hard drive in the middle of a shoot, like
not fun.
And we just recently, after what, 4 years you guys, of having a business,
do not do what we've done.
Just bought like stuff to back up all of our work. So
yes,
so bad.
It's a learning. We're learning.
Yeah, we're learning. Sophia asks, what set of lights do you recommend to start with?
Ooh. I mean, it's hard to say because we've kind of stuck to one brand for like the most of our entire thing. But what we always recommend is like definitely going to your like rental store near, like light rental or like camera rental stuff. Store where you can rent lights. I know the ones that we started out with were like, was it Impact or like we rented Ellen Chrome, I think. Ellen Chrome, that
you
sounds
can
right.
rent like lighting kits.
Yes.
And so it comes with like multiple things. And then that's really nice because you can kind of play around. You can test different setups. You can figure out if you actually like how those lights work and look. Yes. I know for us, there were some lights that just like didn't work. Like it was something weird with like the remote or something.
Yeah, like it was just very finicky.
Mm-hmm. And so we were like, okay, we don't want to invest in this brand because any light is going to be an investment, even the more affordable ones.
Yes.
I know we use ProPhoto. That's just what we've kind of always used. We used them in school, and then we tested a bunch of other ones, and we just kind of like once you go back to there, you can't really go back.
Yeah, and they're definitely an investment. They're definitely expensive, but we've heard from our like community that Godox is a really good alternative.
Alien Bees is another more affordable one. That's good.
Yes.
Yeah, and people really like Godox, so that's an option for sure. I mean, I will say with our Pro Photos, like when did we buy them? 3 years ago?
Oh my gosh.
And they're basically brand new. Like they're perfect. Yeah. So
I know they really last.
A good investment, but it is definitely more of an investment. So good to know.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. Ferry says, I would love to try Broncolor and Phase 1 medium format or Hasselblad H medium format. That's so cool. We, they had Broncolor lights at school too. I think they had Ellen Chrome.
That's right.
Broncolor and ProPhoto, and we would always like
Could
rushed
go
to
for
the
the-
window to get pro photo before
Yes.
somebody else did.
I do remember that too.
Broncolor was good too, though. I don't think we shot with them as much, but
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I think, you know, any light can be great and work for you. It's really how you use it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Now I'm just like cleaning up the waffle here because I want to make it look less like we didn't toast, you know? Like it kind of feels very
Looking
like
beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. We're almost done here. We're almost done. So the other thing that I'm going to be cleaning up is for some reason in the final shot of this, I was looking at it and I actually ended up adding like a whole drip, you know, from
you
this.
did,
So I'm
huh?
going to do that as well again. I just think it looked cooler if there was like another drip, you know, that was just slightly coming down, almost to have like this like angled,
Yeah.
you know, thing going on.
Leading the eye.
Yeah, leading the eye. So, and I guess with that too, I might as well just crop it right now. That way I can see where I'm gonna
That's
be. Good. Yeah. Let me see. Where did I crop it last time? It was kind of like, okay.
Amik says, I have Godox and works great indeed. Ooh,
Amazing.
Fairy says, learn the light, learn the physics of light. Carl Taylor. Yeah, we had a really great, we took an intro to studio lighting class in college, and we had a great professor who just like loved light and you know, talked about light. Like she would always use like the string analogy of like where the light is hitting and things like that. And I feel like that was really influential on us, just like learning to love light and learning to, we kind of treat light and shadows as a prop a lot of times. Like we use the shadows as kind of like, they're like a part of the image that we shoot with a lot of like really hard light.
Yes.
Basically bare bulb with like a small modifier to like make it harder. And we just love to like create those shadows as part of the image. So
yes, exactly.
Oh yeah, Sari says my lighting is a sun and one Nikon. Yeah, the sun, we would shoot in direct sunlight a lot before we had our lights, and also in our old studio we would shoot a lot in direct sun. It's a little more challenging for us to do that where we are now, but I love direct sunlight is great. We love shooting with direct sun.
I love it too.
Yeah, photography is light and shadow, basically. Fairy says it's so true. It is.
All right. We're going to be going with this kind of little situation here. Okay. So, which actually, maybe I do want to go back to it just so that I can fix this little part right here. Okay. Just thinking out loud here.
Carissa says, I always hear about freelancers leaving their 9 to 5 to work 24/7. Do you think that's true to your business? I worry about that with freelancing along with taxes, health insurance, etc. So I think that is like a tendency that people have. I think maybe part of it is like, you know, we love photography. So some of it is like, we just love what we do. And so there can be like the tendency to work a lot because you just enjoy it.
We love what we do. Yeah, exactly.
But I think it is like, especially in the beginning, you really have to hustle to build up your business, and that can take a lot of time and a lot of work. For us, I think our goal has always been to have a really sustainable business.
Yes.
So a business that we can have for a long time where we aren't going to burn out, and it's going to be profitable for us, and it's going to like, we can live a normal life. Yeah. Just gonna look different for everyone, right? Everyone has different ideas of what that looks like. So yeah, we've worked really hard to create a lot of additional income streams. Some of them are passive, some of them are not. Really, I think any like passive income stream, it never starts out passive, right? Like you have to make something that becomes passive. So there's always some work. There's nothing really that's just like strictly passive. But we have some that are more passive than others. And I think having additional revenue streams has been so great for us because it allows us to have income coming into the business, even when we're not having as much client work, or if we go on vacation or anything like that. And freelance always comes in waves, always. It's just up and
how
down.
it is.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
So I think being prepared for that, making sure that you have savings, we put aside a little bit of everything that we make into a savings account so that if something happens and we can't work for a little while, we have money to pay our bills, pay our studio rent, pay ourselves. We also set aside money for taxes. So anytime money comes in, we just take those taxes out, put it aside. And then when tax time comes, we have that money. So yeah, I think it's really possible to have a sustainable business, and it's really possible to not work 24/7, but you have to kind of structure it that way and do the work to get it there.
Yeah.
Which sometimes means work a lot more in the beginning. So
yeah.
But
I think it's important to set those intentions too, to be like,
have
I want
goals.
This to be sustainable. And like, that means like, I think one of the things that we first did was like, that first year, I mean, we were like, all right, we're going to have like a Christmas break or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we did.
And we were like, we're giving ourselves 2 weeks. And it's like, those breaks help you to come back to your work.
Yes.
Like in a much more refreshed and like better state,
Yeah, for sure. And having goals, like having financial goals, and then figuring out what do I have to do to get there? What do I need to charge, to get there? And yeah, I think even just having goals for maybe how many hours you work, what are your office hours and stuff like that. I think setting those things and then figuring out how do I actually achieve that is really important.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. Oh, Fairy says, I really want to try to modify sunlight with a diffuser or something. Ooh. Yeah, you should try. Play around. That's so fun. Yes. You could even play around with like something like really simple, like cellophane or something like that, where you kind of like use that to create some cool shadows or something like that.
Yeah.
Experimenting is the best. That's why we love personal projects. We love to experiment.
All right. So now I'm going to do this little drop thing over here so that we can make it look more cool. So I just made a new layer just in case. You never know. Yeah. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab kind of like, I'm going to use the stamp to kind of start it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to kind of then take it in a different direction so that I can actually manipulate the drop.
We have Jennifer Hood from Hoodspot in the chat, which guys, I have to highly recommend their book, Freelance in Business and Stuff. It's by far the best freelancing book of all time. So go check that out. And Jen says, Ellie and Arabella, hi, this looks so tasty. What's your favorite passive income gem you all do?
Oh my gosh.
It's so hard. Honestly, I really love our Patreon, which is, we call it the Weekend Club. And we do like blog posts in there, videos, and we like post like educational content. But my favorite part of it is we have a Slack. And so anyone who's in the club can be in the Slack channel. And it's really cool because people ask really great questions. And I just really love seeing like other people interact. So it's like not just us answering, it's everyone who's in the club answering, giving their input. And it's like a really great community. And then there's different levels. So with the Sunday level, we do a monthly call, and it's a video call, and it's just basically like a check-in, share what you're working on, share what challenges you have. Let's encourage each other, help each other. And it's so cool. We've gotten to know some people so well. And what I love from that too is like they have also built friendships with each other. So there's people who are now accountability partners together, where they like check in on their businesses together weekly, and we see them interact on Instagram. And I think freelance and product photography especially can be so competitive, and so just like people can be kind of mean, or they don't want to share things, or I don't know. I just am really proud that we've created a community of people who want to share and want to help each other, and they see that as a benefit versus something that could harm them. So
100%.
I think I'm most proud of like that community.
The community for sure.
Yeah, and it's also great passive income. Well, it's not really passive. It's great income for us. So I guess if it's like a favorite passive income, the most passive ones probably are downloads.
Yes.
Because and downloads and courses, because once they're made, then they just, bring in income. You still have to market them a little bit, but
right. I
yeah.
feel like also, I mean, I also just love our podcast too. I think because that also builds community too. Like, I mean, a lot of our passive income or streams kind of came from each other. Like they all just kind of built from each other.
Yeah.
So it's just super fun. Okay, before I if anyone's confused, I basically I selected the little drop from the little syrup drop from the other little drop. And I just selected it really roughly, and then I used the selected mask to kind of soften the edges, and now I'm liquifying it just to kind of make it a little different. And yeah, we're just gonna play.
Cool. I love that.
Almost there. We'll see how it looks. All right.
Sam dropped the link to the book that we mentioned by Hoodspa in the chat. So definitely go check that out, guys.
Yes.
It's seriously,
it's so good.
It is so helpful. So helpful. No matter where you are in your freelance journey, it's amazing. Jerry says, has anyone said Lego my ego, or am I too late? Thank you. That was amazing.
Who is a Stranger Things fan?
Oh, yes. Yes. For sure. I'm very behind. I need to catch up.
I'm very behind too.
The new season's coming soon.
I know.
For anyone that just made me remember that I need to tell you guys, if anyone is just joining, we're Weekend Creative. I'm Ellie. Arabella is working in Photoshop today and tomorrow. She's working on some stills and some GIFs for social media. So thank you for joining us. Please ask questions in the chat. We love chatting with you guys and answering whatever questions you have.
Yes.
Arturo asked if you could toggle the clean layer so they can see the difference between what you cleaned up and what
good idea. I probably should have done that before.
Great question.
Wow, I think I did this better than the first time around.
Practice makes perfect.
Practice makes perfect, y'all. I mean, I might need to make it a little more, touch it up. But okay, so this is where we were at. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look at that. So
ugly. And then beautiful.
You fixed it better. I might go back in and also change the coloring, but I want to be mindful of our time because I also want to show you the other thing. This is why I knew I was editing just takes so much time. So I want to show you the good stuff. But okay, so then we added the extra drop right here, and that I literally just copied, kind of did a little stamp tool magic from this other dripping little thing over here.
Yeah.
And then I started adding this little guy over here. So I'm gonna fix it a little bit more. I'm gonna go back into Liquify. I think I want to make it a little bit whiter.
Sam says, I wonder if Ego's stock shot up when that show came out with Stranger Things.
Oh my, I'm sure.
Honestly,
I'm sure of it.
Honestly. Okay, and Jerry says, I'm wondering if this is real maple syrup or if this is glue with food coloring. This is real maple syrup. This is the real deal, you guys.
The real thing.
I think we had to shoot it pretty quickly because if it's real maple syrup, it's thinner, right? So it runs more quickly.
Yeah, exactly.
So we were working for I mean, I guess it would depend on the situation, but yeah.
Okay, see, that just already looks so much better.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Good job.
Thanks. All right. And then I'll just go ahead and drop that from merge down onto this extra drop. So that's all this. Perfect. Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah. All right. Now I'm just going to go back in and just fix the coloring on this side. I'm going to see if I can just make a new layer, and I'm going to sample just a color from over here by using my little color picker. I might need to play around with it though. I don't know. We'll see. But what I like to do is, let's call it color correction. And I'm going to change the blending mode to color. And basically, I'm going to use a soft brush, my paintbrush, keep it, I don't know, pretty minimal. And I'm going to see what happens if I start painting in. Okay, let's see that difference. Okay, I can see that difference, but it's not the color that I want, I don't think. So I'm going to change that.
Carissa asked advice on finding clients in the beginning. Sorry for all the questions. Y'all are great. We don't be sorry. We love questions. So ask as many as you want. I mean, we found clients through doing personal projects. So stuff like this, where we just kind of shot what we loved and did things that were really fun for us. I think when you have fun with your work, it comes through and clients can see that. And you want to be putting out the work that you want to bring in. So creating the work that you want to create for clients. And we would just post things and tag people, and we got clients through doing that. And then I think also just reaching out through email versus Instagram, or LinkedIn is another great way to reach out. LinkedIn and email are the more professional ways to kind of put yourself out there, but sometimes you have to follow up several times before you you make contact. But like that also is how we got all of our first clients, was through personal projects and through emails mostly. Yes. Those are the two main ways I think that we did.
So I didn't like the color correction way. So now I'm doing a levels adjustment, and I'm just gonna be masking it so that I just want it in the areas that I want. And I just kind of like used this little panel over here and made it darker so that I can get that more even tone. And basically I'm going to select on the layer mask, and I'm going to invert it. And I have a Mac, so it's like Command I. But I believe you can do select or image invert. Wait, maybe I'm messing myself up. Or it might be Control I if you're a PC. Okay, so there we go. And then now I make sure that I have my paintbrush, I have the white color, and I'm just going to paint in where I want it. And that already looks so much better. There we go. Yeah, look at that. Much more even. Okay.
Beautiful.
I'll do it over here too. Right here as well. Sweet. Oops.
Sophia asked if when we shoot, do the clients join you in the studio or do you work by yourself? And it kind of depends. Like, we let clients come. So if they want to come, they're welcome to. We have a clause in our contract that says, like, if they choose to not come to the shoot or to not join us virtually, and like be approving things in real time, then we get to make all the decisions.
All the decisions.
So they kind of like, can choose if they want to send somebody or a few people. So, and some clients do. A lot of our clients are not in our area, but sometimes they'll fly out, or it kind of just depends on the project and how long they've worked with us. And a lot of times they'll come for the first shoot, and then maybe after that they don't come anymore. But yeah, we're open to it. So it kind of just depends what their preference is and what they need. Honestly, there's pros and cons to both. Like, it's a lot easier for us to work by ourselves and have less pressure, and it feels a little bit easier if you're troubleshooting something, but it is really nice to have their feedback right then. So there's definitely a pro to having them on set as well.
For sure.
Yeah. And you get to build that relationship, which I think is really valuable too.
Definitely.
Bethany asked, what are your top tips for pitching? So I would say, like, one, just know that, well, if you're cold pitching, like, you're the one reaching out to them, you're probably going to have to follow up a lot. I think they say something like you have to have like 7 touch points or something in sales before you like close the deal. So it's a lot of follow up. It's a lot of work. But if you know, if you are able to make that contact, or if they reach out to you, I think the biggest thing that you can do is to show the value of your work. So we do that. We have a deck that we use to pitch to clients, and it walks them through like our experience and our past work and our process. So it shows like all the different things that we do for them. And I think, and it shows like examples of like past shoot plans and the final product. And I think just really being clear about the value that you're going to bring to them and how you can help them and how you're going to partner with them is really helpful in, you know, justifying your rates and showing them that they should hire you.
Exactly.
And just be really professional. Be really professional. You know, be really like communicate really well. I think that's really important.
Definitely.
Okay, I think I got to all the questions, but if I
Okay,
missed one, let me know. I'm like going through them all. So if you have more, let me know.
Okay, so I just fixed a lot of unevenness and just kind of went in and added a little pizzazz. But now I'm just gonna sharpen it. I think we're pretty much, or actually before that, I'm gonna do a little bit of dodging and burning because I want to like make it a little extra. So I usually like to just kind of, you know, select everything, copy merged, and just do another layer. And I'll just call it DNB, and I'll just do some dodging. And I like, you know, that way I keep it, you know, non-destructively.
Yeah, for sure.
And yeah, I'm just going to go back and forth between the dodge tool and the burn tool, and brightening up the light areas and darkening all the dark areas as well.
Jerry says, toasting the waffle with that golden color.
Yes,
yes,
exactly. And I'm pretty loose with it. I don't, you know, it's fun. I love this part because I think it really like makes it, you know, stand out a lot more. Makes it pop. Do you guys know what I mean? Do you want to make it pop?
Could you just make this waffle pop more?
Awesome.
Well, as a reminder, if you guys are watching on YouTube, if you come on over to Behance, behance.net/live, that is where we can see all of your questions and comments in the chat. So feel free to come on over and chat with us. If you're chatting on YouTube, we won't be able to see it. So I want to make sure we get to all of your questions.
Right. Cool. And now I'm just going to do some burning.
Sam says, please make it pop about 16% more.
16%, exactly.
Carol says, is this to promote the waffle or the syrup? It's a great question. It could go either way. So
it could honestly go either way.
This was just a personal project for us. This was not from a client. So, you know, we didn't have any specific product that we were trying. I mean, we started off like, let's shoot waffles. So I guess you could say this is to promote the waffle, but if this was a syrup company, it could work just as well.
Oh, so, yeah.
Yeah, I think it could go either way.
Oh, yeah. I forgot to mention too that when I'm doing the dodging as well, I'm usually like making sure that I'm having the range at highlights. Obviously, if I wanted to, you know, lighten up the midtones or the shadows, and I can select those respectively. And same thing with the burn tool. So like for now, like sometimes like if I want to, you know, burn some of the like bright areas, just kind of bring them down, I can do that. Or the highlights, and yeah, it's pretty simple.
Perfect.
Okay. So now that I'm pretty happy with that. I mean, that looks awesome.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
Now I'm going to sharpen it, and I always do our favorite sharpening method, which is the high pass sharpening. And that basically is just, you head on over to filter, you go to other, you go to high pass, and it's going to take you to this weird like gray situation, but don't worry. It's gonna look better than that. I like to stay anywhere. I mean, sometimes like if we want to go extreme, we can go extreme, you know, like I'll show you, this is a lot, which that's maybe fine. And basically I'm going to change the blending mode to, I can do soft light or I can do linear light, but sometimes maybe that's too much. Soft light's probably
like
better.
Plastic almost or something.
I know, yeah. Right? And that's like a pretty easy way of just like sharpening, like that made such a difference, like as far as, and even like you can, adjust. I always like to stick to a high pass of, if I'm just going to do one quick high pass sharpening, then I like to do somewhere in between like 1.6 or 1.7. And I like choosing the linear light blending mode. And like that looks pretty crispy, Like I guess maybe I can see the difference. I don't know if you guys can. But you can always double it up as well. And then, that adds a little bit extra. You can put this in a group and that way you can see the difference. So that's without sharpening. And then that's with sharpening. Which,
I can see it. Yeah.
It feels so textured. Like it's like so cool. Another way to sharpen as well, like let's say you've got a lot of things going on. Maybe it's not, just a flat kind of, one thing. I'll show you kind of what happens. So let me see. Let me go back. And so you're going to want to make this layer, so your high pass sharpening layer, a smart object. So you convert it to a smart object, and that basically allows you to kind of go back and adjust your settings. So now I'm going to apply that same high pass filter, but this time I am going to go a little bit crazy. And let's say 7.4, something, where it's a lot. And then I go over to soft light. So now, because you've made it a smart filter, I can go back in and change this high pass, which makes it less destructive, And then one thing that you can do is just then you can copy and then adjust, bring down the pixel size, and just copy and bring it down again. And then you're doing like very like minimal sharpening every time. And it's just like, it's like building it up, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So this is like another way that you can kind of play around with sharpening. And, once you put all those together in like a little group, you can really see the difference as well. So pretty cool.
Yeah. It definitely adds such nice texture.
Yeah, it definitely does. And now that I'm like looking at it too, I kind of want to also do one last thing. So let me show you what I'm thinking. This kind of feels a little too placed, so I might add a little bit of shadow in the back to kind of make it
more realistic.
More realistic, yeah, exactly. Oops, not that way. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and invert it and then brush a little small amount.
Carol says, I hate gray situations. You had the mask up.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Perfect. Just like add it a little bit. Make it a little more realistic. Maybe that's a little too much.
Yeah. Jerry says, can you do a before and after for the high pass? So maybe toggle it on and off again.
Yes, exactly.
I think it's off right now, right? Oh, now it's on.
Yeah. So I'll do it again. So we've done the high pass sharpening, and then we're going to convert that to a smart object layer. We go to filter, other, and then high pass. And then we're going to make it a little extreme, like 7.4, and change the blending mode to soft light. Okay, so that's like the first pass. And then I'm going to duplicate that. Click on the high pass for the second one, bring it down to like 5. I'm going to duplicate that one again and bring that down to maybe like a 3 or 2. And then one last time, and we can bring that down to like 1 point something. And now we put those together in a group. And then here it is with the texture, without. Makes a big difference.
Yeah.
I feel like
it might be hard. I mean, I can see it a little bit, but yeah. I'm sure you can see it more on your end.
Yes, yes.
If you go in closer.
It just adds that.
It just takes a second.
Yes. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
So there you go. I mean, you guys will definitely be able to see this on your on your on your Photoshop when you try it for yourself.
Yeah.
And yeah, and you can get crazy with it. You know, I think it just depends on like what you like and your style. But that's pretty much our waffle texture shot. So
Beautiful.
yeah, I mean, it might look a little bit different than how, like, you know, our original one, but it's pretty smart, you know, pretty spot on.
Pretty similar. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe brighten it up a little bit. You can always do a little adjustment layer, levels, and just bring the whole thing up a little bit. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
Jerry says, yes, we can see. That's good.
Perfect.
It's like hard for me to tell sometimes, like, wait, can everybody see this?
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's our final still. So hope you guys like that. And let's move on over to the other still and then turn that into an animated GIF.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. I guess I should just save this real quick. Oops. Oh, what did I do? Oh, there you go. Can you see me?
I can see you, but I'm seeing, hold on.
Oh,
You
I'm
stopped
sorry.
sharing. Yeah.
Oop, I have to share again. Sorry,
Yeah.
guys. Okay.
There we go. There we go.
Sorry about that, guys. All right.
Jerry says, let's eat. I know. I want to go make a waffle after this.
Oh, I love it. Okay. So let's just call this For the Love of Waffles. Always got to save your stuff, guys.
I know. Probably should have been saving as we were going through.
I know. All right, sweet. So now let's move on over to our pattern. So here's our lovely little waffle guy. It's all edited in Lightroom since we already took care of the color and the white balance and the lens correction. So let's go ahead and edit in Adobe Photoshop 2022 and convert documents colors. Sweet. All right. Cute.
So cute. So appetizing.
I know, right? We really did pick the best one for this shot because we knew we're like,
Yeah.
all right, we can't have like a little soggy, like.
No.
All right, same thing. I'm going to be cleaning it up first because since I'm going to be making a pattern out of this, you know, let's make this look real good.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Cool.
We had another question. Do you ever use any external programs for sharpening, such as Topaz or On1, etc.?
Ooh, I have not. No, but I mean, I feel like I should write these down then.
Yeah.
You know, and try them out. Yeah, why not?
Yeah, we just stick to Lightroom, Photoshop.
We love Photoshop.
Always fun to try out a new tool. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah. I know. I think that's the cool thing too, is that even like we're going to be showing you how to animate, you know, this pattern using Photoshop, but I know that there's other kinds of, you know, things out there too.
So many ways that you can.
So many ways that you can do it. But I'll be showing you how you can do it in Photoshop, and it's pretty simple.
Yeah.
You know, for the most part.
It is pretty simple.
Yeah. The putting it together is simple. The editing of everything.
Well,
sure. We'll see.
Sure.
So again, I'm using all the same kind of tools, the patch tool, spot healing brush tool. And I'm really just like cleaning up as much of it as possible.
If you are just joining us, we're Weekend Creative. I'm Ellie, and this is Arabella. And we are working on a personal project that we did, making some images, some stills, and a GIF for social media. So yeah, feel free to ask questions about photography, Photoshop, freelance, whatever comes to mind. And
we love
say
questions.
Hi. We love questions. Yeah, definitely. Makes it a little bit more fun.
Oh yeah, for sure. I feel like if anybody can tell us, like, what do you guys photograph? Are you like, what kind of photographer are you?
What kind of photography do you do?
What do you edit? I'd love to know.
Yeah, definitely. That's a great question. So many different kinds of photography.
I know. And I think that's one of the, you know, that's the beauty of it all. We definitely didn't know that product photography was a thing when we first got started.
Yeah, it wasn't, we were doing more fashion and social media kind of stuff, but yeah, product is really fun. Jerry says, I'm a big cloning stamp fan over patch healing, which is, yeah, there's so many ways to do things. And I think everyone kind of has their favorite tool. And Arabella mentioned in the beginning, like you kind of like test things out and see what works best for that particular product, or, you know, think that you're trying to fix that particular blemish and
exactly
see what works.
Exactly. I know. I've even like, you know, shortcuts are definitely a thing for me. Like if I can make, you know, like for example, like I have kind of like, I think it's D, F, and G that I have all kind of set to my own what I want.
Yeah, that's so
as
smart.
Far as, and yeah, and it's just like, you know, my index finger, I'll just use that to like switch back and forth between the tools that I want to use.
Oh, Jerry says, I'm a furniture photographer / graphic designer. That is so cool. Furniture, that would be so fun to shoot as well. And then Oliver says, I photograph nature, sometimes landscapes, not professionally. That's okay. That's like so fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nature, you get to be outside, landscapes, and so beautiful.
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Thank you guys for sharing.
Yes, definitely.
Office furniture, Jerry
edges.
Says. Cool. That's really cool.
That must be kind of like intense because it's, you know, those are big things.
Big. Yeah. Yeah. Shooting something and lighting something that's large scale is more challenging than lighting something that's really small, depending on, you know, if the small item is reflective or something, it might be more difficult. But
exactly.
Yeah, definitely takes a lot of skill to light larger items.
All right. Fixing that. I actually don't think I did. I mean, I did a little bit of fixing in the, like that first time that I edited this.
Yeah.
But I definitely could have done more. So that's what I'm doing.
Nice.
And sorry if I sound a little stuffy, you guys. I'm a little still feeling a little under the weather, but it's okay because we're here. Adobe Live.
You sound great.
Thank you. Thanks, Ellie. Okay, let's see.
Oh yeah, Jerry says we have a studio in the warehouse with lighting. It's hard getting the color right. Yeah, I can definitely.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because if you're that's what's hard too, is like once you shoot something, it's usually the color is slightly different, right, than it looks in real life. And if you're shooting something commercially to sell, you want it to be the color, the actual color that it is. So when somebody buys it, they're not like, wait, this was a different color online.
Oh my gosh, that's probably like the biggest thing, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's definitely a challenge to make sure things are the right color. Oh, Achiro says, not a photographer, but started shooting skateboarding. That is cool.
I love that.
Yeah.
So much, I'm sure so much going on and like a lot of action.
You have to just catch it right at the right exact moment.
Oh yeah.
You know, that's really cool.
Okay. Now I'm just getting real picky here. All right, let's keep on going over here. But you know, it's got to be a pattern. It's got to look good. So, you know, it's all in the details, you guys.
So I remember when we first started shooting and we were trying to do some patterns like this, and we would actually set up the pattern. So like if we were going to try to make a pattern with waffles, we would like
do the whole thing.
Actually do the whole pattern.
And I guess technically for that table of the waffles, we did set it up, but that was because it was like we had stuff on it and we were like, we wanted to look pretty realistic.
Yeah. But I think when you're trying to space things out evenly, like with the waffle table, everything's just squished together. So it's a little bit easier. But if you're trying, I remember we would And this was before we did any sort of live view, I think.
Oh my
So
gosh.
we would like place all the items in a way that like looked even to us. And then we would take the photo and be like, oh my gosh, we have to like move this, which then means you have to like move all the other ones too. And it would take us so long.
So
and then
long.
we reached the point where we were like, wait, we could just take one, like take a photo of one and duplicate it. Why are we not doing that?
Why are we like, yeah. Why are we not saving ourselves the time?
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
And really the editing too, because if I were to be editing that pattern, I'd be editing so many waffles, you guys. I'd go crazy.
Yes, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's so much quicker this way.
Oh, yeah.
And it usually looks better. So win-win all around.
Oh, yes.
Bethany asks, is it okay to tell clients that my preferred method of communication is email? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's the thing is like, we actually have that in our contract. It says what our office hours are, and it says what our preferred method of communication is. And then it says how quickly they can expect to receive a response from us. So yeah, I think that's totally fine. And a lot of times I don't even give clients my phone number ever. If I'm going to do a call with them, I'll do it on like Google Meet or Zoom or something like that. And then they don't have my phone number. And that's okay. And if they did have my phone number and they did text or call me, I think it's okay to respond within your office hours. So like if they call you at 10 p.m., you don't have to respond to them till the next day. And I think having those boundaries is really good and really healthy. And it's okay to kind of, I think the best way is to be clear about it from the very beginning and to stick to it from the very beginning. And yeah, just like, you know, if you work in an office for a company, you have office hours, and it's the same. You have your own little company, your own little business. And so you can have those same boundaries and rules for yourself. And I think it's much healthier. So yes,
all about sustainable.
I think it's okay. And we say there's no such thing as a photography emergency.
Yeah.
So, you know, for the most part, anything that there's very few things that have to be urgent, answered immediately. Like most things, like if it comes in late at night, it's going to be okay if you answer it the next day. There's very few things that deserve that immediate response. Maybe like the night before a shoot, or, you know, something happens to the products on the way there. I don't know, something like that. Maybe that's more of a like quote unquote emergency, but in the life and death scheme of things, there's no photography emergency. Everybody's going to be fine. Everything's fine. So
they will live.
Yes. Carol says, my reason for this is so that we can both go back and reread messages. Yes, that's the other thing. So that's also why I don't recommend DMing clients on Instagram, because messages can be unsent on Instagram, and sometimes Instagram goes down, right? And it's gone. And so all your messages are gone. So email is definitely the safest way. And then, then you have that proof and that documentation, right? So this has happened to us in the past where, like a client had said one thing over email, and then later on they received the images and they were like, wait, I didn't want those colors. Like, can you reshoot? And then I was able to go back to the emails where they had said, like they had approved the colors and said, yes, this is what we want. And so I was able to say, well, we can reshoot, but we have to charge you because you approved it. And if that had been over the phone, I wouldn't have proof of that. So my recommendation is, if you do phone calls with clients, which sometimes is easier, sometimes necessary. As soon as you get off that phone call, just send an email that summarizes what was talked about on the call. So you have some sort of written documentation that says, hey, just, you know, here's a summary of what we just discussed. Here's my next action steps. Here's your steps. And, you know, look forward to talking to you soon, or something like that. So that you always have written documentation. Super important.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good answer, Ellie.
Thank you. Do you have anything to add?
No. I think you said it all.
I know you're like busy cleaning up.
I know. I'm like, let's go. No, we're almost there. We're almost there.
So close. So
Getting,
close.
it's getting good.
Yes. Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. I know. Just it takes time, you know. It's just that's the editing part.
Yeah.
And
that's charge
like,
for post-production.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You know, this takes time. And you know, normally I'd probably take more of my time, really.
Yeah.
You know, and probably be a little bit more, but I would definitely want to get to showing you guys how to make this a pattern and then an animated pattern, which would be fun. Okay. So just cleaning up these edges here, really, it's just, you know, I'm also being mindful of editing both the actual edge of the waffle, but also the shadow too, because that's important, right? Because they have to look like they're the same thing. And also making sure that I'm cleaning up what's in the shadow as well. So that looks pretty good.
Yeah, looks great.
Mm-hmm. Just gonna fix a couple more little things here, and then we'll be pretty much good to go. Okay. That's the thing sometimes about like when you're working with food, you really have to like get multiples of things because things don't always, you know, look, you know, that's just the nature of food. It won't always look the best. I mean, you know, you're buying these things at a store. So like things are just going to look, you know,
there's
no one's caring about whether this is going to go into a photo shoot.
Yeah, no.
No one except for us.
Yeah, definitely. We always buy extras and make sure we have enough for any sort of food shoot because and also like when you're working with food, it gets destroyed as the shoot goes on, you know, so like it may start out looking great, but then you take an image or two and you're touching it and fussing with it and it starts to like get kind of nasty. So then you have to maybe swap it out for a different one or
exactly.
Always good to have more than you think you need. And then you get to have lots of waffles for months and months.
All right, now I'm just liquifying a little bit. This little edge is like not my favorite right here, so I'm just making it a little bit smaller. A little less crazy.
Yeah.
And I'm making sure that I'm fixing the shadow too. Okay. Yeah, there you go. A little better. Maybe actually I'll also fix this right here. So it looks more like the actual waffle.
Perfect. I also just want to remind you guys that you can watch Adobe Live all the time. Like literally anytime you want to watch, you can watch. There's so many streams available that you can go back and watch the replays of on Behance, which is also great because you can like stop and pause, or you can rewind and watch them do something again. So it's really helpful. You don't have the live chat feature, but I think it's really great to be able to go back and rewatch some of those streams. And
exactly.
And then Adobe Live is also hosting streamers like just live on Behance all the time. So definitely make sure to check that out. And if you're enjoying this stream, there are so many more and they cover so many different programs as well. So if you're interested in learning other programs besides Photoshop, definitely check those out. They're a really, really great resource.
Yes. Okay, now I'm just going to fix the tone of the waffles.
Jerry says, who prefers real maple syrup over Mrs. Buttersworth? Honestly, I kind of like both. Like, I think they taste different. And actually what I usually put in my waffles is peanut butter. So
yeah, you do.
I do. Well, because especially if I'm having it for breakfast at the studio, like I want some protein. Yeah. And I can't really make bacon or eggs or anything here because we don't have a stove. So I like to add peanut butter and just get that protein in. So peanut butter and jelly or honey or something like that. So yeah,
for sure.
Do you guys have favorite waffle toppings?
Yes.
Nutella and strawberries.
Oh, the best.
Great option.
Jam. I love a good sugar. Jam.
Mm-hmm. Just butter.
Just butter is really good. I know. All right, I fixed the toning there. It's kind of looking more toasted, hopefully.
Looks beautiful.
But now I'm going to figure out what color. So originally in that final shot, it's kind of like this kind of brown. See, can you tell the edges right here, how messed up they were? So this is how you know that you've grown, you know, like you're like, oh, I'm making sure that things are looking good. So we had this kind of like brown color, you know, like a little bit of a lighter brown color, but yeah, I'll probably like do kind of like a similar thing. So now I'm just going to, let's see, that kind of seems like a little bit, maybe, oops, something like this. So I'll go ahead and do a layer, new fill layer, and a solid color. Maybe a little bit more brown like that.
Yeah.
Sweet. Okay. So now that I have that, I'm just going to, you know, toggle it off so that it's not shown. And now what I'm going to do is now I'm going to do a selection. So there's so many ways to select, you guys. I mean, there's so many ways. And now that there's like, oh my God, I'm so scared because the stop sharing screen button is right next to the select subject. So I'm like, maybe I won't show you guys that because I'm scared. But there is, if you are on the magic wand tool, there's a button that's select subject, and it's actually like pretty good. I think actually I might be able to get it if I do select. Oh my gosh, if someone can tell me, actually, that would be amazing. If there's a way to do it where I don't have to click it on the top there, that would be amazing. I thought it would be somewhere over here too, but maybe not. I don't know. If you guys know, please drop it in the chat. Because I want to be able to show you guys, because Photoshop actually does a really good job of selecting.
Subject. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. But if you are like more, you know, wanting to be about your details and stuff, like you can use the pen tool. You can use, you know, the polygonal lasso tool. It's really all about your preference. So what I'm going to do here is I'll probably just do a selection tool. I think that's probably the best way. Or actually too, I could also do
Oh, Sophia says selection and then select objects. Under the select tab.
Under the select tab?
Yeah, select object.
Select object.
I don't see that.
I don't see that though. Oh, right here.
Oh, it just doesn't say select.
Yeah,
it
doesn't say select. Okay, see, that's pretty good, you guys. That's good. So I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna run with it. Because now I can just like, you know, add in the additional details. But it's pretty good. I really like it. If it's like a pretty easy thing like this, sometimes it's not going to get it right. Sometimes, you know, it takes a few tries.
Yeah.
Or you get as close as possible, right? The whole point is that you can get to it as quickly as possible.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to go in with the polygonal lasso tool and add the little bits that it left off. And I'm making sure that I have selected the add to selection button.
Jerry says he likes bananas on waffles, and then Arturo says PB&J waffle sandwich slap.
Oh my god!
And then Jerry says chicken and waffles also slap.
Gosh.
Yes, we love good chicken and waffles.
Oh my gosh! If you guys have ever been to LA,
yes,
Roscoe's is the best.
So good.
Sorry, they're the best.
I'm sorry,
but they're the best.
It is very good. Yeah,
that was my first time experiencing chicken and waffles, and they set the bar pretty high, and I have not had anything.
They're so massive, though.
I know, but it's so good.
It's very good.
It's so good. Okay.
Pen tool is always the smoothest, but takes the longest. That's
I know.
What Jerry says. I know.
Yes, it really does. Okay. So here we go. So I'm going to just take care of doing, well, actually, I'll just, you know what I'll do? Well, since it's already selected, I'll just do the waffle first, and then I'll take care of the shadow after.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So it's pretty good. just a couple little details here, but good job, Photoshop.
Sophia says there's actually a tool under Magic Wand that's called Object Selection Tool and does it fast also.
Ooh.
Jerry says we're going back and forth between the waffle conversation and the Photoshop conversation.
I love it.
So
you know
I hope that you guys are okay with this.
I hope you guys are too.
Jerry says I went to the fair and they had chicken and waffles on a stick. That is amazing.
That sounds amazing.
I had chicken and waffles on Easter at a friend's house. They had an Easter brunch.
Oh my gosh.
I thought that was so brilliant. I was like,
so good.
Why do I not eat this all the time?
Seriously.
I just never thought about like they just bought fried chicken from a restaurant and then they just made waffles.
Incredible.
So easy. Yeah.
All right. I'm using the select mask tool, select mask. And I'm just smoothing out the selection so that it's like, you know, nice and kind of not so like hard edged, basically. All right. And then I'm just going to, while selecting the very top of the layer, I'm going to do a copy merge. So you can do edit, copy merged. I like to use my, shortcuts. Yes. And then I'm going to paste it. So now we have this waffle, right? Okay. So obviously it looks a little crazy because it doesn't have a shadow. So now I'm going to take care of doing the shadow. So since I already have the selection, this is great. I can just go back to my clean layer and now add in the shadow. And that does a pretty good job.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And obviously there's all these little dots right here. So, or the little ants. So I'm going to make sure those are selected as well.
Yes. Kate says, I made chicken and waffle kebabs once with the country gravy dipping sauce. That
Oh my gosh.
Amazing. And I need to try that as soon as possible.
ASAP as possible.
ASAP as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Mick says, I'm trying to expand my options, but I've used Polygon Lasso for years and years. I prefer to do it once and not have to keep track of what I need to add and subtract. Yeah. Yes. It is like, yeah, once you kind of get used to a tool, it's really hard to switch to other ones sometimes.
I know it is. It is. Well, that's the thing. If it works for you, it's like,
yeah, if it works for you,
you know?
It works for you. Yeah. That's the most important thing.
Okay. So one of the things that I like to do with the select and mask tool too, is when it comes to the shadow, I like to just like define it a little bit more. So I should have done this previously, but, it's going to be kind of the same result, but I have the refine edge brush tool on. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep it like a pretty small size. And I'm just going to go around the edge of this shadow. And what it's going to do is it's going to take into consideration the fallout of the shadow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just going to look a little more realistic, I think.
Yeah, because in real life, a shadow wouldn't just end. Right.
Yeah.
Like
and you could do that, you know, you could do that. That's fine. Oops. I didn't want to do that.
Bethany says, do you have a recommendation for a Photoshop 101 class? I'm looking for a super basic intro class.
Ooh, that's a great question. I mean, there's so many resources out there, but I think Aaron Nace has been on Adobe Live before.
Yes.
But he has a really cool platform called Flern.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like PH Learn, right?
Is how you would PH spell it Learn. Out.
Yeah, Flern.
And I'm pretty sure he has some like very like, you know, entry level. He also has a whole YouTube channel.
I think he has a YouTube channel where you could kind of start and it would be free and then work your way up to like his paid platform.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's a great resource.
Also, oh my gosh, I'm blanking out on his name. I'm sure some people in the chat might know, but Jesus Ramirez also has the whole YouTube channel as well. I think it's called the Photoshop channel, maybe. Am I right?
Maybe, yeah.
And again, also like a ton of tutorials there. I don't know if he has one specifically like on like intro, but I would assume so. I mean,
probably, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So same thing. I'm just going to copy it and merge it. And I'm going to bring it up here as well. So now we have both, right? Now that looks way more realistic.
Yeah.
Like it's like sitting on this like nice thing, right? So, okay, so here's I'm going to call this waffle and then waffle shadow. Okay. And I'm just going to take care of doing this already as like a square. So that we do less.
Oh yeah, Jay recommended lynda.com too.
Oh yeah. And there's so much. And I like also like there's Photoshop also has a bunch of tutorials too on their platform. Just you know, I mean, like even when I hover over, you know, a lot of these, like you can click and learn more.
Yeah.
I love these little things that they added. I think they're amazing, and especially for people who are just starting out and learning.
Yeah, really good. There's another question: how to make a shadow manually look realistic? Like we don't really.
Oh my gosh.
We don't do that very often.
I have done it in the past. Yeah. It's definitely, shadows are very difficult, people. Shadows are difficult because you have to think realistically about how it does fall, and
where is the light hitting, and then what kind of shadow would that make?
What kind of light is hitting on it? Like, is it soft? Is it, you know, like
the
direct?
Direction.
Yeah. So direction, like you have to think about all that. But I have done it in the past, not as much, but there's so many tutorials out there I know for sure on like how you can do shadows like that. And it like, yeah, I mean, it just depends too on the object as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm just going to edit this a little bit more, and I'm going to add a adjustment layer, levels. And I'm going to, create a clipping mask, and basically what that's doing is that it's just affecting the layer below it, which is the waffle,
not the background.
Sweet. That looks pretty good. Maybe just a little less contrast, but definitely a little brightness. There we go. That looks pretty good. Okay, and then last thing that I want to do as well is I want to do that high pass sharpening as well, because I want it to look crispy. So I'm going to do waffle, high pass sharpening, and I'm going to do the same thing. High pass. This time I'll probably only do one, and I'll make sure to click the linear light as well. Okay.
Beautiful.
Yeah, there you go. Look at how beautiful that is. Perfect. All right, now to build the actual pattern, right?
Yeah.
So many ways to go about it. You can do it loosely. You can put guides, you know, you can, if you have your rulers turned on in Photoshop, you can drag lines and make sure that you're actually sticking. Like, let's say this waffle was more straight on, then you can get like even more particular. But I mean, having guides will help you regardless. I think we'll see kind of how it goes. But I definitely recommend it. So let's just go for it. Here we go. So now that I've put all these in, like, you know, in groups, I can literally just duplicate, copy it.
Yeah.
And then start building it. And it's so much fun. And it's going to be a little wild, but it's going to be fun. See, and sometimes, and like, if you have like your snap, where is it? View. If you have snap on, it like does a pretty good job of like knowing where to kind of go.
Yeah.
Which I really like.
Kind of does the work for you almost.
Kind of does the work for you a little bit. Yeah. Which, you know, I'm all about.
Jerry says, I've never heard someone call a waffle beautiful.
They are very beautiful. Look
they
at
are
it.
Beautiful. A beautiful
mean,
creation.
Seriously. So I'm really just taking a guess here, but we're going for it. Okay. Something like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks pretty good.
Looks really good.
Thanks, guys. Sometimes I'm like, okay, do I need one here? Probably. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, yeah, maybe. Yeah.
There's enough of a space there.
Yeah. So sometimes, like, I like to eyeball it. Sometimes, you know, you can get real real intense with it. Just depends. Something like that. There you go. Wow. Beautiful.
Jerry says the spacing is good. Yeah.
Thanks. I'm, you know, trying here.
I mean, this is 1,000 times easier than trying to do it in real life.
Oh my gosh, I know.
You can adjust
and
it
to
so
get it
much
perfect.
easier. Oh my gosh, yes. Much
I
better.
know. Much better. Yeah, so it's just really fun. Like you get to kind of just make it and have fun with it. And maybe I'll bring this one down a little bit. Let me see. Now that here's the part where it gets a little crazy is that you then have to figure out where everything is. Okay, that one.
Yeah, that
there we go. Okay, something like that. And maybe, you know, I might even change the, let's see. I could always kind of, you know, adjust my crop too if I really wanted to.
If you needed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, that looks good.
Something like that. All right.
Do you think you need a tiny bit of one in that bottom corner? Oh.
Yikes. Which one? Yes, definitely.
Okay.
Let me see. I'll make sure I'm picking one that has everything, which actually would be the first one. Oops, that's not what I wanted.
Name your waffles, Gareth says. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Maybe like a tiny bit. This one, maybe like here. Oh, I forgot that this one's also a thing. So that here's the thing. That's when you're doing cropping, right? Like you have to make sure that you have like the right. Okay, here's where I messed up. All right, I'll show you guys. So when you're cropping, one of the things too to watch out is you have this like little delete cropped pixels. So you want to have that unchecked so that you can then move around and actually, make sure that nothing is getting cut off.
Yeah. Becca says if you click on the one that you want, if you control click on the one you want, it should show you which layer it is.
Oh, thank you. Okay, yes, I'm going to try that right now. Control click.
Control click. Oh, it might be different on...
Might be different on Mac.
Are you on a PC, Becca? So it might be different on Mac.
That's okay.
Yeah.
We'll live.
It's always the issue.
I know.
Between Mac users and PC users.
I know. Okay. I mean, that looks pretty good.
Just that one bottom corner now. The other bottom corner. Uh-oh.
Hold on. Whew. Okay. Just the bottom corner now. I'm going to bring this down just a little bit more. And bring this in. You know, you got to make your life easy.
Mixes Jerry waffle, Linda waffle, Steve waffle, Sally waffle. Oh, yeah. Yeah, that was for PC. So if anyone knows it for Mac, let us know.
That looks pretty cool.
Sophia says you can select the auto select check, so it's easier to select the one you want to duplicate.
Oh, okay. You said auto select?
Yeah, auto select check.
Okay.
For the future. Good to know.
For the future. Yep. Okay.
Beautiful.
Love this. Okay. So maybe I will. Oh my gosh, that's so fun. Okay. We're going to be doing this in record time. Hopefully we've got 20 minutes.
20 minutes left. Let's do it.
Okay. Well, that's pretty much you guys like the still, right? So that's like really fun. Let me save this right now.
Good call. Good call.
Oh, because it's saving right now. Okay, cool. All right, so then that's pretty much our pattern. So now let's find a way to animate it. So we can do it so many different ways, but I'm just gonna like maybe have them all appear, I feel like, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So maybe we'll just like kind of play with it and see how we want it to go.
And maybe even a couple, like for the sake of time, a couple could appear at the same time.
Yes.
Like three at a time or two at a time or something like that.
Yes. Let's see. Okay. Oh, this one's not even showing. I'm going to delete that one. Maybe like that much or something.
Arturo says, really waffling around in here.
Okay.
Mick says you need the move tool selected, but
the move tool?
Yeah, I don't know if we need that for this.
I don't know if we need that for this part.
Yeah,
because now we're animating.
Don't worry. Yeah.
Now we're animating. So
yes, Carol. Carol says, "Did you save this?" We did. It's saved.
We did save this.
Thank you for the reminder.
And I'm just gonna save it one more time too on our actual right here. Yes. Beautiful. So, oh, it did save right there. Okay, perfect. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, then we can do like a few at a time. All right. So let's say it's going to start with these three, right? So now I'm going to go ahead and select everything. I'm going to do a copy merged and I'm going to paste it on top, right? I'm going to just hide that layer. Oh, now I'm going to add some more.
Jerry says they could also disappear one at a time. I mean, it's kind of the same thing. Like you could do either way.
You could do so much. I mean, you could even do like a pattern of it going like, you know, like orderly.
Well, you could do it too, where they're like kind of like flashing in and out, you know?
Yeah.
Like kind of like, so yeah. Many ways to do it.
We're just going to do a fill. Yeah. And then I'll show you how you can reverse that too.
Like people are taking them from you, leaving one left.
Oh, I like that.
Like they're getting eaten. You could do this. I mean, this would be fun if like you were taking bites of it and it was disappearing. Like just if there was just like one waffle, that'd be fun.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's do that. Perfect. Okay, so I'm basically what I'm doing is I'm copying and then merging and then pasting. So here's what I've got so far. It's gonna look like that, then like this. So yeah, cool. We'll just keep going. Okay, so let's add another waffle here, another waffle here. Not that one. Oops. Maybe that one. Okay. So copy, merged, and paste. And then let's keep on adding the last ones. Maybe that. And then the last one can be that one right there. Potentially.
Oh, Becca says, I think we are just collectively trying to figure out the select layer thing. So you need the move tool selected, auto select checked, and whatever control is on an Apple.
Okay, got it.
So now we know. Thank you for clarifying that.
Thank you.
Very helpful. Jerry says the bites thing would be sick. The thought did cross my mind. It'd probably be for something like that easier to shoot it that way. So like shoot each image of like the bites being taken.
Yes, you definitely have to do that like individually
for sure.
Okay, so this is kind of like our animation right here. I mean, we can shorten this, but what I'm gonna do is I don't want this on the same layer because I'm gonna need these layers to be on their own. So I'm gonna save this again and I'm gonna go to image, duplicate, and now I'm gonna take off all this because I already have it saved in the other, right? Now I just have and actually, I wonder if I should have one more where it's just blank.
The background.
Yes. Yeah. Good idea. So, oops, that's not what I wanted. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sweet. Got that one right there. And I'm just going to drag it over to the other one. Where is it? Oops. Hold on.
Oh, command click on a Mac.
Command click?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to try that next.
Okay.
Or maybe tomorrow, you guys.
Maybe tomorrow.
Okay. So I have all the layers here, right? So we've got the start, appearing, 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 appearing. Do we want to cut out maybe this one and have it go from this to this? Or do we like this?
I'm
and
okay
then
if it built. Yeah, I like the.
Okay.
I like that. Yeah.
So now, because, this is going to be, potentially going on Instagram. So like you want to make sure that it's at least 4 seconds.
Yes.
So you definitely want to have all these layers duplicated at least 2 or 3 times to kind of fill that time. So you're going to copy and then paste and then copy and paste. So now you've got 3 of all of these, like this, little segment. So now while having the layer 0 selected, you're going to be going over to window and we're going to be using our favorite tool, which is called the timeline. Another one of our favorite tools. And it's super simple. You just literally click this button, create frame animation. Okay. It's going to grab that first layer, or well, it's going to in a second. And there's this little hamburger little lines right here. You're going to click on that and you're going to select make frames from layers. And it's going to take everything that you have in your layers and make it into a into a thing.
Into little frames.
Yeah. And so again, we could do the pattern of it, being empty all the way to getting filled and then back to the start, or we can reverse it, right? So we could do, and this is where you have to do it beforehand, right? Like right now I want to show you just like the animation. Maybe if we have time, we'll do it. But so now we've got all of it, right? And it's going to go through every single thing and then start again from the top. Okay. So while having the first layer selected, make sure to have shift and select all of the layers. And now you're going to do change the time, right?
The speed, yeah.
The speed, the frame delay.
Yeah.
So I like anywhere between 0.45 seconds to like 0.6 seconds. That's kind of like a sweet spot. So I'll just do 0.45 to begin with. And then what you're going to do is basically you're just going to press play and see how it goes. And there you go. So pretty simple animation that literally was just a still at first, but now you have this fun little GIF. So yeah, so let me show you real quick, actually like doing it backwards, right? So I'm just gonna go back into our layers. I'm gonna just go back in history just because it's a little easier. But so let's see, let's go back to when we were duplicating, right? So we have our original
Arturo
5
says
layers.
reverse for sure.
Yeah, right? So, okay, so there's a little bit of like, having to know how it all works, right? So like you've got layer 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, if we're going to do it backwards, we're going to have to basically only duplicate these 4 in the middle, right? So we're going to duplicate them. We're going to put them on top of layer 5. And what you're going to want to do is, because it has to be backwards, right? You're going to want to go to layer and you're going to go to arrange and reverse. So now you've got it reversed, right? So it's going from empty, filling up to full, and then back down to empty, right?
That's pretty fun.
So it's super fun. And you have to make sure that the last one is still this first layer, right? So now you can grab everything and duplicate it twice. So it's a little confusing, but you'll get the hang of it. And now, same thing again, create frame animation, make frames from layers. Maybe this is a little too much, but
that's okay.
It's okay.
Fun to see.
Oh yeah. And then change the set frame delay to 0.45 seconds. Press OK. And now you can see the waffles coming in and out. And it's so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then just to show you guys how to export each of these items, I can quickly show you guys. There's 2 ways. Obviously for Instagram, you definitely want to make sure that it is MP4, right? Mm-hmm. So If this was going on your website or anything like that, then you're welcome to export it as a GIF, which I'll show you as well. It's pretty simple, but you'll want to go to File, Export. And if you're going to be doing a video for Instagram, I usually like to go to Render Video. And it's going to go Progress. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to immediately size it down to Instagram's size, which is 1080 by 1080. You can go a little higher too if you want. But Instagram has its own compression as well. So it's gonna,
it will compress it.
It'll compress it either way. And so let's go ahead and export it here. I'll just choose that. I usually like to do the format H.264 and have the preset high quality. I got the 1080 by 1080. This stays all pretty much the same. And I'm just going to rename it here. For the Love of Waffles GIF. And I'm making sure that's an MP4. And now we're going to render it. So pretty simple, you guys. It's not, it does get more complicated once you have a lot of layers and
yes. Or I think it gets more complicated too. Like if you're shooting all the different stills for the GIF.
Yes.
Like this is just one still that then you can duplicate and move things around. But when you're like if you were like, oh, we want to do bites out of the waffle, or we want hands coming in and taking the waffles, those would be all separate images that then you would be editing each one and then, playing around with them. So, can definitely get kind of complicated.
Yes, definitely. Which is why we highly recommend. We actually, in our last stream that we were on, I think we showed a little bit of that kind of layer masking that we did.
Yes, layer masking is key with that. Because then, if anything has moved or you don't have to edit the full image of all of the images, it's really helpful.
Exactly. So now you have your
Garrett
cute
Garrett says that's a waffly good GIF.
Oh my gosh, you guys.
So
please share your best waffle puns. Oh
yes.
My goodness. That's going to be our caption when we post this, for sure.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
I love it. And what's cool too about these patterns too is that this can easily go on Instagram stories too. Because it's, it's a pattern. So it'll take up pretty much the whole scene, which is really nice. All right. So let me show you real quick just how you can export it for a GIF. And that's if you're going to be sending it to a client or, if you're going to be putting on your website, some websites do not take the MP4 format. So they'll, you'll want to do a GIF. The tricky thing with a GIF though is that so I'm going to basically go to File, Export, and Save for Web Legacy. The thing about GIFs though is that they are pretty large. So you do have to go small in size. There's a little bit of quality that suffers sometimes because it can take a lot to have, but sometimes I think it might be okay with this particular GIF because it's so graphic,
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot, the way that you would with I don't know, if there was a hand coming in or things, whatever. But basically I just go straight to preset and it's going. It's okay that it's taking this long. It usually does. But it goes to preset and I select the highest GIF option. And it's just taking a little while because it's a pretty big size. Oh, there you are. Okay, so GIF 128 dithered. And I'm just immediately going to go down to 1,000, see what that goes. And I'm always making sure right here, looking at this size right here.
Yeah.
To see if I can get it down lower because, we don't want a 21 megabyte file
sitting on
our
website.
site.
Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully that goes up soon. There you go. That's pretty good. 1.6. I am going to make sure that I'm upping the colors all the way too. Actually, there's not really that many different types of colors in this GIF particularly, but if there was, I would go up to, I will go up to 256, but let's see. Kind of want to see. Okay, that looks pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so 2.1 is pretty good. I could even go down to 900 even. That's a pretty good size. And let's see. Yeah, it always takes a little long.
Yeah.
But that's, that's Photoshop working so hard. I love it. No, it does a lot for us. We should really be thankful.
It really does a lot. It does a lot.
All right. So there we go. And then, oh, actually, I'll do it over here. Oops. I'll do it there. Okay. For the love of waffles, making sure it's a GIF, right? And then saving it. And it usually saves pretty quick. So there we go. And there is our GIF for
beautiful
our website. And yeah, you guys, this is so fun. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if you can tell, but the difference from the video too, like you could tell there's just more texture, and because it's, it's higher quality,
more detail.
When you have to make it for your website, you do have to make it a little bit smaller so you don't drag down your site.
Yes, for sure.
But there are our fun GIFs and, our still. Let me pull it up. So there's our macro shot. Okay. And then our GIF. So yeah, you guys, that's pretty much
beautiful.
How you
and
do
you
it.
finished just in time. You have 5 minutes left.
I know.
So if anyone has any last questions, feel free to ask them in the remaining 5 minutes. Do you want to give a little preview of what you're going to be working on tomorrow, or do you have that available? If you don't, I'm putting you on the spot.
I know you're putting me on the spot.
I'm so sorry.
No, I can definitely pull it up on our site because I definitely want to show you guys. So let's see, where's our work? Okay.
The very top.
So we're going to be working on a client project, and it's called Mela. So we're going to be showing you how we do this cool little gradient and graphical, image. It's fun because you get to combine different things.
Because we shot this on gray.
So we shot this on gray.
So it did not look anything like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there was also a little bit of photoshopping having to happen with just this, these texture swatches and all that stuff. And then adding these elements is super fun. And we'll be showing you how we also do this little GIF as well. So, and showing you how we add that gradient. So it's gonna be fun. I think, it's definitely interesting, the difference between like a personal project and a client project,
for sure,
and how we, go about it in different ways. So yeah, this is going to be what we're working on tomorrow, and I'm excited to show you guys because gradients are fun. It's definitely like one of those things where you have to like be careful with your banding and all that, but it's definitely a fun way to make it fun.
Yeah, it just adds something special to some photos. So
yeah. And we were thinking if we have time, we can do another one as well. But those are the main two, because I knew after today, I was like, oh, we're not gonna have enough time.
You always think you can do more than you actually can, and then the time goes by so fast. So
I know.
Yeah,
so
it's just crazy.
I know. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. I hope you guys enjoyed the getting to make this fun still, and if you like waffles, go get some waffles after today, treat yourself.
Treat yourself to a waffle. Do you want to just pull up that like full tablescape one and maybe just show like the before and after of that too? Because you use the same tools to fix waffles here. So we could see that before and after really quick just to see what you did. Yeah,
exactly. So as you can see, these aren't cooked. So there's a lot of photoshopping happening, and the table underneath was peeking through, so there's a lot of
they're not
transforming
perfect squares.
Exactly. So there was a lot of that, and obviously all this happening. And I also did, I believe, change the color of the plate a little bit too. So I have that here, and this is the final image. So yeah, it's pretty, it's definitely a little bit less warmer, but that's our final image. So
can you put it so we can see side
to
move
side?
that one over? Yeah, just to see the differences.
Let me see. Can you guys see that?
Kind of. There you go.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Let me see. Let me see if I can. Okay, maybe not, because it's Lightroom will want to do that thing where
That's
it's
okay.
like there you go. But yeah, I know. So it's just like, you know, a lot of work on the, I think the waffles is what takes the most time of like cleanup. After that, then it gets easier.
Perfect. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, thank you for showing us that. As we mentioned, we're going to be back tomorrow at 9:30 Pacific time, working on a different project. And if you're just catching the end of the stream, you can watch the replay on your own time and definitely dive into that. And Julia Vaca says, hi, Ellie and Arabella. And Julia is up next. She is doing the Illustrator Daily Creative Challenge. So definitely stick around for that.
Yes.
Julia is so talented and
such an amazing teacher.
So fun. She's so fun. So you guys will have a great time. So definitely stick around for that. You can tune in before stream tomorrow for the Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge with Sam. That's going to be awesome as well. Definitely recommend checking those out and just building some new skills. And we're so excited to see you guys tomorrow. Yes. We'll be back. Have a good one. Bye.